Alright guys, well we'll just get started, and as people roll in, they can roll in. Happy What's Up Wednesday. What's going on Wednesday from Five Stitches? It's been a couple of weeks. Been a couple busy weeks. We were at World of Wheels last week and in Chicago, and that was amazing. And then there was a little week of recovery, and now we're here again to What's Going On Wednesday. I'm going to try and do more of these. They seem to always end up at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night, which, you know, that's fine by me. As long as people watching live, maybe. But yeah, we got some new updates. We got a new project. I put a video out. I'm trying to do more on YouTube. Trying to get, you know, after meeting everybody this last weekend and kind of finding out where people mostly stand in terms of how they're kind of interacting with stuff. And YouTube's a big one, so we're going to try and get more onto YouTube. So I'm trying to put more stuff on there, longer videos, stuff that's not time-lapsed, you know, so people can kind of see exactly what I'm doing versus just a 1.5 minute speed-through clip of fast-paced motion of 20 different tasks. I'd like to try and teach people instead of doing it in fast motion. So YouTube allows me to do that. So, hey everybody, those birds are so cool. Thank you. Let's see if I turn around. So those are the sparrows, and then on the back they've got a little inscription. Pardon my shaky hands, but kind of talks about what the sparrow tattoos are, what they mean, and why the sailors would get them. Pretty cool. I did that for all the traditional Sailor Jerry style stuff. I put on the back. It's all engraved, and if it has some sort of meaning, like the Sacred Heart or the rose or the dagger, those have you know, a little bit about the tattoo and what the meaning is on the back of it. The rest of the stuff just has an engraving, but yeah, thanks. So the next big project we're working on here is, last time I did this, we had a trailer sitting on this bench. Well, now there's something different. What we got here is a 1959 Fiat 600. The client has been asking me for a couple of years to work on it, and I haven't had the space yet or the confidence to really kind of tackle it yet at that point. And he wasn't ready either, so it worked out real well in terms of timing for us to kind of make this happen. So he brought it over today in between thunderstorms and tornadoes, and I couldn't imagine how awesome this thing worked out on this workbench. The workbench came down just like it would, with the lift underneath it there, and then we rolled it right up on some trailer ramps. I got it up on here. It's surprisingly the wheelbase is just perfect. I had to kind of shimmy it over, and that's what the pieces of paper are there for, because this thing is a rear engine automobile, and when you lift up the back end of it, the wheels want to camber in, and so trying to then get it to sit right, because I have to go back and do all these fenders. I got to repocket the the taillights. I want the car to sit at the right height, so I threw a piece of cardboard paper underneath the tire once I got it up high enough to slip it under, so that way when I brought the car back down after I centered it on the table, it allowed the tires to kind of pop out, which actually worked out fantastically, because otherwise I think it would have just, they're such brand new tires, they would have just skid. They wouldn't even, it would kind of, the body would be sitting, you know, odd. So, but yeah, so we're working on that. I started working on a couple things here. I'm kind of putting myself some, this is how I build my map of how I'm gonna get this going. I've got some photos of what a 1959 Fiat 600 looks like in terms of the body lines. I've seen fenders. I got a bunch of photos, but the client's also given me a little bit of creative freedom to kind of put a little Five Stitches touch on it too, if I can. So I'm trying to keep it as true to form as possible, but I might want to get it a little tighter in some of these areas, and so I'm just putting some old air hose tubing on here to just give me a guide to start with. This was I saw this years ago. I think it was probably Jesse James or somebody building a bike on a show when I was a kid, and like, oh, that's really smart. You put the tube on there, and then you just, you know, everything's the same. So kind of using the same process. I'm probably going to come back and put another one under here and just chop all these short. So never really done it this way before, but I'm trying to get a point where the fender comes over. So I want to have an idea of how much space. I don't want to cut it too tight. So that's what those are in there for. And then I'll start building my wire, you know, exoskeleton kind of cage to kind of build my pattern and figure out what the body lines are and make sure, he's cool with it and likes how the look is going. We're going to do the same thing over here on the rear fender. This one's a little bit more complicated because it actually is really tight up in there and I can't even get my finger. So we're going to probably have to bring some of that out a bit, maybe raise this up a bit. The other thing, too, is there's a lot of Bondo on all corners, so all this thin metal here might be way too thin. I think it's all supposed to be 20 gauge or 18 gauge to begin with, and it's 20 in the dash, but by the time you get rid of all this Bondo, there might not be nothing left. There's some over here, too. This is the razor thin at the edge here, so but yeah, should be fun. We got a couple of minor updates to the interior. Hinge brackets, and then kind of playing around with the dashboard, putting a clean dashboard in. Previous owner, whoever had it first, loved to do rivets, so they've riveted everything together, which, you do what you can with what you got. So, but we're going to try and clean that up, and so get all that squared away. There's same thing on this side here, and then back here as well, same thing. So we're going to be doing some work on this guy. He'll be in the shop for a couple weeks, probably, as I go. But try and get this in and out as quick as possible so that I can get my desk space back. But yeah, so we're going to try and do some updates on that. And then the only other thing that really happened this week, what's going on, is we finished polishing the Gypsy panel. So this is a panel that I was working on at World of Wheels. I had already put two reels together on it already, but it had already about 10 hours worth of rolling into it, and then I went and polished it. And then I'm going to try and do some turning, or maybe turning on the big flat, around her, maybe like a directional turn or something, so she's looking like in a direction. I'm going to play with that, pretty sure. Kind of let that stew for a little bit and play around with that. And then made up a frame for the Winfield custom panel that I did for World of Wheels. And so I'm going to give these to the guys that bought it at the Brushmasters auction, Paisan's Pizza. They picked that up, donated to good cause for charity. So we're going to get them a frame to keep that panel all cleaned up. And yeah, I did this a couple weeks ago. This is 311 day. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with that yet. I know a lot of 311 fans, and they all commented and dug what was going on. So I may play around with that. Not sure yet. I'm going to let that stew as well. But I'm sure I'll finish that up real nice. But yeah, so we'll try and do this more often, like I said. But maybe now we can do just a little, since it's our 100th post, I'll kind of set the camera up here and give you a little bit about me, about Five Stitches, and kind of how it started. That way everybody knows, and I understand the 100th post is when you're supposed to do this. So if I can grab my drink. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kevin, and this is Five Stitches Design and Fabrication. We're based outside of Chicago. I started this company about 2 years ago after an accident working on my personal car. I have a 1954 Chevy Bel Air that I'm completely trying to restore from the ground up, and I ended up putting a piece of it through my forehead a couple years ago, working on the firewall. Ended up with 5 stitches, maybe a slight concussion, and decided in that moment, the day after or so, in that haze, that this is what I wanted to do with my life, was anything around metal shaping and just getting better at it and just learning everything I could about it. And it was kind of I joke, it's my Doc Brown Back to the Future moment, where he slips and falls and hits his head on the toilet and comes up with the flux capacitor. This is me putting my firewall through my forehead and coming up with this idea that this is where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's how Five Stitches started. Before that, I was a mechanical engineer for 20 years. I went to school at UIC for mechanical engineering, and I've always just tinkered around with stuff. I built a couple bikes out of college, built an 86 Camaro in here from the ground up and at my in-laws' house for a brief amount of time, and then started working on a Bel Air in here, which has now been moved out because I needed more space to start Five Stitches. But you can fit a little car like this on a table, maybe you can work on cars too and have a business. So that's how we ended up here. But it's a little bit about me. We're just outside of here in the city of Chicago, north suburbs of Chicago. And what I'm really trying to get out of Five Stitches and out of the channel is just kind of teaching. I'm self-taught on a lot of this stuff. I've taken several metal shaping classes recently in the last couple of years through Bailey and through Tin Man's Garage. Shout out to both of them. I was part of the Metal Fest at Gas Monkey Garage 2 years ago, and then the Kindig one last year. So I'm relatively new to formalized training of metal shaping, but I have a stack of scrap this tall and mistakes, and that's how I learn. I learn by trying it, finding out that that's not going to work the right way, making a mistake, and then learning from that. And I think a lot of people do, and that's personally how. But I like to be shown how to do things, and I can watch and pick things up. So I've always been interested in just about anything. Look around the garage and you're going to see. But I'm really trying to hone in on metal shaping in my path, and also teaching metal shaping. And I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn. I'm learning every day. I'm trying to find more classes and more people to learn from that are out there, and anybody that I can talk to. And but I also like to. I have enough information, and I like to talk to people, and I like to teach, especially kids, because there's a lot of them that don't know that these tools and this industry or this opportunities exist. They may see it on their phones, but if it doesn't flash through their screen, they're never going to see it. So this last weekend or 2 weekends ago when we were at World of Wheels, I brought my bead roller there, and we were on display, and the amount of kids that were impressed and just in awe and just were so happy to even try it or to see it or just intrigued by what it was really, really cool. And so that's, I'm not the first to bring the bead roller to shows. A good friend of mine, Sean Rose, that guy's been doing it for 5-6 years now or more. So it's not new, but it's not common. And so it was really cool to see everybody's faces of kind of what that was. And I enjoyed that because I like teaching people that it's not overwhelming. If you think you can never do this, you're just telling yourself you can never do this because you haven't put the time in to do it. And if you don't desire to do it, then you're obviously not going to do it. I've tried to play guitar 5 times. I've given up all 5 times. I don't really have the drive to learn to play guitar probably. But metal shaping, that's my drive. So everybody is to teach their own, but exposing people to different things that are out there is also a good thing too. Even if they're not going to go down that path, that may lead them to, I saw something else that was kind of cool, recently. Maybe we could do something like that. Maybe they're a different type. Maybe they're an upholsterist, into upholstery, or leather or engravings. A bead rolled panel with an engraved etching, or a bead rolled panel with a upholstered door panel. That may they may think about that. They may never have really seen those two. But like I said, I like to teach. I don't know how that's going to work out. We're just a small shop here in the garage, but I'd like to kind of get to the point where I can either go to schools or work with schools to kind of teach. I had a couple offers of teachers that said they may be interested. I'm all about it. If you're in the Chicagoland area and you're interested in having someone like myself come and teach your kids about metal shaping, or if you have the tools in your class, let me know. I'm local to the area. I grew up and went to Maine West. I know them all around here. I've worked with friends in my engineering career. We're in craft shows we're trying to get into craft shows at most of these schools around here. So we're trying to be active in the community. YouTube is where we're going to get seen, see everybody, and we'll reach out to everybody. But the community is where I really kind of want to focus a lot of stuff, and being able to bring what I can do to people to show that this is not a daunting task. This is just, if you believe in something and you can go after it and you're motivated, you're going to do it, right? And so that's the message that I'm trying to get across, while making what I think is pretty cool art, and just maybe bringing other people's ideas to life. Of I would always wanted something like this, or I'm a very creative guy. I was a Lego kid, a Rector set kid, so the sky's the limit. And I just like to make people, feel like they got, their dream came true in terms of like, I had this vision for something. I don't know how to do it, but I can do that. Or you took this task and, you showed me how to do it, and you explained it very succinctly and made it easy enough for a 4-year-old to understand, kind of thing. So, so I don't know. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see any of the comments. I'll try if there. I don't know how to do that. Hopefully, I can figure that out. But if there's comments and things like that, or add your comment in, try and do this more often. Like I said, try and be more on camera versus behind. Definitely going to be answering any comments and questions. I'm usually pretty good with that and pretty responsive. So expect the same out of that. But yeah, what's going on Wednesday might be a new thing here at 5 Stitches Design and Fab as we keep going with the nice little Fiat 600, the next project on our list here. So thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.